Welcome aboard. It is almost time to get started. We'll start in another minute or two, give people a few more minutes to show up. I just posted in our group that it was time to begin. If you're not a member of our group, www.icbchgroup.com. Larry Butler's here. Hi. Guest 375, you're here. Hi. You know, down at the bottom where you type in the chat box, you can actually click on where it says guest and then your number. And that gives you an option to change it to your real name, which is always pretty nice. But we'll give people another minute or so, and then we will go ahead and get started. So this is your 1 minute break, or we'll give them a 2 minute break. Go refill your coffee or your iced tea, my iced tea, of course, a cup of water. We'll go ahead and get started. While I wait for everybody, I'm going to go ahead and find something. Here we go. I've opened up what I was looking for. And there we go. Of course, below this video is the chat box. And below the chat box are the previous week's archived videos. Below that are the weekly practice videos. The weekly practice videos are really the most important part of this class, because the most effective way to become an expert at autogenic training is to begin utilizing autogenic training in your own life. So let me recap the 4 videos, because if you haven't had a chance to practice them, I think it's really important. And the first was a basic process in autogenic training. 5 core elements: hot, warm, heavy, smooth, rhythmic, calm and regular, and coolness. The second week was actually a hypnotic induction, how to incorporate autogenic training into your induction processes. Then, based on some feedback from some people who said, wow, it's a long time, and it, 15 minutes probably for each of those videos, 20-minute videos. Some people said, I wish I had more time to practice. That's really a common issue with a lot of clients. They wish that they could do it in 2 or 3 or 4 minutes. So I made a video for our week, or for the third practice video. It really takes the content of the first 2 videos and shortens it up. I also provided an MP3 that you can download. Let me see if it's there. Make sure that it's there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, right below the video for week 3 is a short practice MP3. You can download that. You can put it in your phone, whatever you want to. It's, I think, about 4 minutes and 3 seconds long, so it's really not very long. And then the 4th week, I returned back to our regular format of longer videos and longer practice sessions, but I focused topically, and I focused on sexual enhancement or performance. And so I think a lot of people probably had a chance to do that. And Larry, you asked a great question. The question is, in previous groups, you've been able to download the videos and MP3s to your computer. Do you plan to do this with these sessions? Well, yeah, it's just, Larry, it's real simple to do. All you have to do is go to Vimeo, because I hosted these on Vimeo because it seems to be more reliable for more people. Put in the password, which is Autogenic12, Autogenic12. And then when you click on the video, if you click on the Vimeo logo, it actually takes you to the Vimeo page. Not my website, but the Vimeo page. And there's a big giant download button right below the video, and lets you download it in a couple different formats. So all you need to do to download the video, Larry, is just click on the Vimeo logo when you're watching the video, and that'll bring you to the Vimeo page, which has a big download button right below the video. As far as the PDFs and the MP3s, Larry, all you need to do is right-click on them and click Save As. So Instead of just, left clicking on it with your mouse, just right click on either the PDF or the MP3, click Save As, and it'll save it for you to your computer, to probably your download folder or wherever you save things. If you have an Apple computer and that's what you're using, God knows what you need to do. You need to fight with iTunes in order to get anything in there, and I wish you well. So if you have an Apple product, Google, how the hell do I download stuff? And maybe iTunes will let you have it. But on a real computer, all you need to do is just right click in your browser and click Save As. You can download the PDF or the MP3s that I've provided for you each week. So that's how you download the content for this course, which means you can actually take this course on the go. You can take it forever. You can put it anywhere you'd like to that's usable to you. You can put the videos on your phone. Watch them on the go. You can put the PDFs on your phone. I've lately been using Polaris PDF Viewer to view PDFs on my phone, have the scripts with you. It's amazing how our phones now can do so many different things. And I certainly use my phone as an MP3 player to play audio. So that practice session, I would recommend doing that. So all you need to do to download a video is click on the Vimeo logo. That takes you to the Vimeo page, and click the big download button below it, and right click on the PDFs or the MP3s, and bam, click Save As, and it'll save it to your download folder. So there you go. You have an Apple and you've not had any problems. Awesome. You shouldn't have any problems now either. Well, Larry, you shouldn't be on YouTube now. You should be on Vimeo. So let me try to clarify some confusion, okay? The live webcast is on YouTube. The live webcast uses YouTube because I'm using Google Hangouts. I'm embedding it on my page. Okay. The weekly videos are on Vimeo. The weekly practice videos. I'll be putting 2 up each week, and there's a Vimeo logo, and just click on that. It takes you to the Vimeo page. So shouldn't be too difficult. Guest 159, you said you thought you'd never find this link again. Which link? The link to Autogenic Training. It's just video.subliminalscience.com/autogenic-training. But I'm glad you found it again. Hi, Debbie. It's good to have you here today. So a lot of people joining us here in the room right now. What's odd is there are more people in the room than watching the video. I suppose you can't hear this if you're not watching the video, but just click the picture of me with the bowl above, and that'll start the video. There you go. And Larry, if you still have problems, email me or email Stephanie, but I think you're just not clicking in the right place. So you shouldn't have any difficulties. I know iTunes does not like you to import your own MP3s that you didn't buy from the iStore or whatever they call it. But you really shouldn't have any problems with anything else or even downloading the files. Probably have to play it through Apple's proprietary playing system though. But anyway, it's great to have everybody here again. A good chance to practice a lot of different things. I hope that even though in the USA it was Thanksgiving holiday, you had a chance to practice. In fact, my guess is that the short version that I provided to you probably came in pretty handy over the holidays. And I certainly practiced as well. One of the things I've been doing is you've been going through this course. I've been not only making the videos, but going through the practice each and every day. And that's been particularly helpful to me. Now, let's talk a little bit about the fourth video, which, of course, covered the subject of sexual performance and enhancement. I'm going to create a series of videos now for you to view that, again, you can download them. They're on Vimeo. And those videos are going to be topical. In other words, I'm going to focus on headaches and migraines. I'm going to focus on some other different issues. Well, Larry, let me help you out here, okay? Let's just go to the very bottom of the page. Because if you're having a difficulty, you're not the only one. So go to the very bottom of the page, the very last video titled Autogenic3. And I'm wearing a very light blue shirt that has some boxes on it. Okay, there's an elephant on my desk, and there's a seeing bowl and a bell and a red pen. Okay, and interestingly enough, that one is not password protected, so anybody can access it. All right, that's the very bottom video. It's called Practice 4. At the very bottom of that video in the right-hand corner is a Vimeo logo. Just click on that. That'll take you to the Vimeo page where the same video will play, and you can download it from there. So that's how it works. If you're not seeing it, there's some sort of issue that you're having with your computer, because I promise it's there. And you can send me a Facebook message or call me or call Stephanie, and we'll walk you through it. But that's where the Vimeo logo is. It's on each of those 4 practice videos. The 4th video focused on sexual performance and enhancement. So we replaced, we replaced, smooth and rhythmic, and calm and regular, and warm and heavy, with some other experiences that a person might want to, if the issue was sex and sexual performance, might associate with increased sexual performance. So from an emotional or cognitive perspective, comfortable and confident. I brought back the sensation of warmth in the script. The solar plexus is warm. Why the solar plexus in relation to sexuality? Because in sexual performance, of course, that bundle of nerves is radiating throughout our entire body. And we know that the sex organ is not just between the legs, but is actually everywhere in our body. In fact, probably one of the most, probably the most important sexual organ is actually the skin. And of course, our skin system covers our entire body. So using the solar plexus as a way to radiate throughout the body, all of our systems, is really a great way. In the script that I included, my mouth is wet and moist. My mouth is wet and moist. That's really important, because when I'm working with a client, I don't want to become X-rated with them. Now, I need to be comfortable talking about things, etc. But I really don't want people in my office having orgasms or sexual experiences or things like that. What I want them to do in my office is I want to teach them. I want them to learn. And if I can create my mouth is wet and moist, my mouth is wet and moist, the obvious thing here is that any part of my body can create a physical sensation. My muscles are relaxed and ready. That's very important for various sexual experiences that people have. And my mind and body are excited and joyful. Again, reframing the emotional context. And then from an autogenic perspective, I can feel blood flow to my groin and pubic area. Again, a very G-rated professional way of addressing specifically where we want to direct blood flow during sexual performance. We know, for example, that an erection is caused by blood flow to the genitals. So we want blood to be flowing in that direction. We know that from the anatomy of women's reproductive health, that a swollen labia and those sorts of things are a result of blood flow to this area. And again, with my clients, I'm going to remain G-rated in my communication with them, but they know exactly what it is that they're learning here through this process. And it really is pretty helpful. By the way, Larry, you said you didn't go far enough down the page. Yeah, I try to put this all on one page so it's convenient for everybody, but you're not the only one who doesn't scroll all the way down to the bottom. So the scroll feature is real handy. I can fit everything on one page rather than having to go page to page to page. But in probably all my courses, you need to scroll down. And a lot of times, depending on the device, a person just doesn't see it. So you're not the only one. Glad I had a chance to explain it. So let me see here some of the comments here in the chat box. Debbie wrote some thoughts. Autogenic training seems to simply be self-hypnosis for kinesthetic folks like myself. By the way, I think you're 100% correct. In clinical hypnosis, a lot of people are really good with visualization, and a lot of people are really good with auditory suggestions. And a lot of people, a lot of hypnotists really struggle with what do I do with the 20% of my clients who are primarily kinesthetic. One of the things I do with all of my clients is when I first meet them, I try to assess their primary representational system. Are they primarily an auditory learner, or are they primarily a visual learner, or are they primarily a kinesthetic learner? And a lot of hypnotists are really stumped by what do I do with the kinesthetic learner? And you're absolutely right. This is the way to do hypnosis with kinesthetic learners. We want to create a kinesthetic experience for them. So you're right. It really is self-hypnosis or heterohypnosis that has a kinesthetic focus to it. By the way, somebody asked me in another course I taught not too long ago, what's the difference between meditation and hypnosis? I actually don't think there's any. I mean, people want to argue about semantics, but really meditation and hypnosis are both umbrella words. There's a lot of different things under each one of them. And usually in psychological literature or in the nursing programs, autogenic training is categorized as or referred to as a meditation technique, but it really is a kinesthetic induction for hypnosis. In the fourth video, what do you say to a client who reacts to "my body is safe" with "no way, not safe"? I'm probably not going to have them using that suggestion unless they know that their body is safe. Now, if I'm working with a client in my office who has a history of trauma or other difficulties, it may be very likely that those issues have to be dealt with from a therapeutic perspective first before we start with suggestions such as this. The other thing I think here is real important is that anything that exists had to be an idea first. And a lot of times clients don't believe the positive self-talk, okay? But they fake it till they make it. And another way of introducing this with a client is in regards to, let's say, somebody who had a history of trauma, et cetera, is I've said to clients, and as you're here in my office, and by the way, remember, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and so sex and sexuality is the domain of my professional work. I'm licensed to work in that area. I train people who are licensed to work in that area. And one of the things I do with all my clients is they have headphones on, and I'm always talking to my clients through a microphone. Now, you don't have to do hypnosis that way, but I do. And I simply think it's better. And I think once you start using a microphone, you'll never go back. Because I don't like to run out of batteries in the middle of a session, I always use a corded microphone. So this is one of the interesting things that's often not stated in a session. But let's say I have a client who's over here in a recliner, and I'm here in my chair. I actually have a microphone like a rock star would have, a microphone on a microphone stand. And that's what I'm using to speak to them with. Now, the message here to my client that's never said is this: as long as they hear my voice, they actually know that I'm tethered. I'm tethered to the audio equipment. I can't really go anywhere. Now, my office is safe because they're the only one in my office. They are also safe because I'm not giving them an X-rated script. This is all a G-rated script here, okay? And so my client who is in my office, I have established some trust with and rapport with. I'm also tethered, and I'm speaking to them. And so I will say this to clients: and here in my office, a place that you know is safe. Now, that's a hypnotic suggestion. You can say to yourself, my body is safe. My body is safe. If I can create a safe body in an office, what's the lesson here? The lesson here is I have the ability to create from within a safe body anywhere that I am. You see, most of our bodies are safe most of the time. If you have a client who has a history of trauma or abuse, that was in the past. You're not working on these issues with somebody who's currently being traumatized or abused, okay? So it was something in the past. And what we're teaching them is that here in the present, they have the ability to create a safe body. Most of our bodies are safe, most of the time. Okay? My new business venture is in what some might call a rough neighborhood, in that it's in the downtown neighborhood. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, the very first day I got our new dumpster for the back of the business, I came in the next morning, and somebody had flipped the dumpster upside down, started a fire, and burned up the whole darn dumpster and all the grass around it. And I asked one of the neighbors about it, and apparently the fire department actually came out and extinguished the dumpster fire. That is just one of many property crimes that I fully expect to happen where my business is, because my new business is in a downtown area. By the way, this is a restaurant and nightclub. It's not a hypnosis business. I've in the past owned 3 other restaurants, so I guess I'm back in the restaurant business with some business partners. But even though it's in a downtown neighborhood, the reason why things make the news is because they're the exception rather than the rule. There was a murder downtown, there was an arson downtown. The reason why those things make the news is because most people never get murdered. Most people never get arsoned. The reason riots and war and all these things lead the evening news is because they're actually the exception rather than the rule. And so we are safe most of the time. And so we can teach our clients to say, my body is safe, my body is safe. And even if they don't necessarily feel like that is true, reality and what we feel are often 2 different things. Because our client isn't currently in an abusive, traumatic relationship, or I'm assuming we wouldn't be working on these issues with them, we would have much bigger fish to fry. They can step into that reality. Of course, if I have a client who's not comfortable with the processes that I'm using with them, I'm not going to use those processes. We have to always be at the point. Part of rapport is being at the point where the client is. Yes, you're absolutely correct again, Debbie, that my mouth is wet and moist is a great suggestion to use with folks who actually have dry mouth syndrome. Now, I don't know if I have dry mouth syndrome or if I have really strange allergies, but my mouth gets extremely dry. The idea I had for my mouth is wet and moist. My mouth is wet and moist actually came not from me working with clients in relation to sexuality. I mean, I've used this with clients over the years, but originally came to me because that was something I did in my autogenic training. Because as a public speaker, it's important that my mouth remain lubricated. See, I earn a big part of my living as a public speaker, and I can't have a dry mouth and a dry throat, or I can't speak. In fact, right here on my desk is one of my best friends. It's called Entertainer's Secret. I use that regularly so that I can lubricate my voice and throat. And so in my own autogenic training practice, several years ago, I began to incorporate my mouth is wet and moist. My mouth is wet and moist. So that when I was on stage or performing or giving a speech or something like that, I would have practice creating from within the physical condition necessary to do this. Now, notice, again, this is really a great, I don't know if it's really a metaphor, but it's a voice lubricant. There are other lubricants I would encourage clients to use in other areas of the body that can enhance their performance and the experience they have, which brings them pleasure. So this script that I gave you and the lessons in the video number 4, I think are really important, and they really sort of demonstrate a lot of different things. The video that I'm going to upload tomorrow, again, is a video that focuses on I think it's the headache video. And that's something else that's really important, because if we can create warm and heavy in our hands, can we create a decrease in tension in our temples, in the top of the head, or in the back where the old brain or the amygdala is, using autogenic training? The answer to that is yes. All right, now, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them. You can type them in the chat box below. I'm always happy to answer any questions. But see, there's Hill said hello, hasn't asked a question. If you have a question, feel free to ask. Guest 550, you can change your name if you want to, or you can leave your name exactly the way it is. It's great to have you here tonight. Larry, a couple other viewers who are participating and have not signed into the chat box. Always awesome to have everybody here. I'll give you a minute because I know that the video actually lags by about 30 seconds. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, I'm going to guide you again through a very short process so that tonight you already have your time set aside for you. Let me ask you a question, though. How many of you have continued to keep up with the videos and practice every day? How many of you had a chance to do that? Because I think it's real powerful. By the way, if you haven't to this point been practicing every day, that's okay. Begin practicing every day. And that short video that I gave you, video number 3, where I gave you the MP3, should make it really easy. If you don't do any of the other videos that day, use that very short one. So please go through that process. All right, I'm going to guide you now, again, through a short process so you'll have your practice time today. And so find a comfortable chair. I'm assuming you're already in one. Adjust for comfort. In fact, it's always okay even to move during a session. That won't disturb you. It'll actually help you to relax by being more comfortable. Close your eyes and breathe in and breathe out. And as you breathe in and breathe out, just pay attention to this moment, this place, where you are right now listening to my voice and watching this video. Although if your eyes are closed now, you're probably not actually watching the video. But you know, if you were to open your eyes, that the video would be there. In fact, even though the eyes are closed, it's almost as if you can still see me talking on the video, almost as if you have X-ray vision. And that's really pretty cool. Shows how creative our minds really are. Now just scan your body. Anywhere you notice the tension of the day, relax that tension. Let the shoulders drop. You can unclench the jaw. You can let the little tiny muscles of the eyelids relax. And anywhere you're carrying up the tension of the day, you can relax that tension. And just breathe in and breathe out. Knowing that in this place and in this time that you've set aside for learning, your body is safe. Your body is safe. And say to yourself, my body is safe. My body is safe. And enjoy this experience right now of knowing that you have the ability to create from within. Not just emotional resource states like confidence or happiness or excitement, but physical states like calm and warm and safe. As you breathe in and breathe out, say to yourself, my body is safe. My body is safe. My body is safe. Sometimes when I'm working with clients, I'll even have them say this 6 or 8 times. My body is safe. My body is safe. My body is safe. As you breathe in and breathe out, in this time, in this place, notice that creative part of the mind, that part of the mind which has allowed you to benefit from all of these videos and all of these live sessions so far. And honor that creative part of the mind by saying to yourself, my mind is creative. My mind is creative. My mind is creative. And let yourself be of a creative mind in this moment and this place. My mind is creative. My mind is creative. As you breathe in and out, we're going to do something a little bit different. As you focus on the hands, in the previous sessions, we focused on a sensation of warm and heavy. But now think of the word light, light. And let those hands feel a sense of lightness, saying to yourself, my hands are light. My hands are light. And let those hands effortlessly sense an awareness of being light. Some of you might even notice with your creative mind that sensation of lightness becomes lighter than air and the hands begin to rise, kind of like a Milton Erickson hypnotic induction. The hand or arm levitation. Or maybe you're like me and your hands can simply continue to rest, but you'll notice a feeling of lightness in the hands, saying to yourself, my hands are light. My hands are light. My hands are light. Or you can even create a metaphor. My hands are as light as a feather. My hands are as light as a feather. My hands are as light as a feather. And if your hands can be light, our whole body can be light. This is really a pretty good learning. We can create within one part of our body and extend that awareness to anywhere, feeling a sense of lightness in the body. Lightness in the body. Of course, gravity keeps you in the chair, but notice a sense of lightness in the body. The opposite of heaviness, an experience of lightness. Maybe even energy or a tingling sensation as you become aware of lightness in the body, saying to yourself, my body is light. My body is light. My body is light. My body is light. And notice, of course, not asleep, but deeply relaxed. The breath is smooth and rhythmic, the heart rate calm and regular. And bring your attention to your mouth, saying to yourself, my mouth is wet and moist. 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 It's almost as if the salivatory glands have simply opened up, becoming aware of a sensation of wet and moist within the mouth. And now focus on the forehead, that place simply in the center of our forehead, extending to the left and to the right, on top of the eyes, down to the temples. And notice the very apex of the forehead, a point in the middle of the forehead, and focus on that point or that spot. Say to yourself, my forehead is cool. My forehead is cool. And notice that in that spot, a sense of coolness exists, just in that one spot. Saying to yourself, my forehead is cool. My forehead is cool. And now letting that sensation of coolness extend across the forehead and down to the temples, cooling and refreshing awareness. My forehead is cool. My forehead is cool. My forehead is cool. This, by the way, is a great time and place for working with affirmations, to add an affirmation that's important to you or helpful to you. And so think about an affirmation right now that would be important for you to tell yourself. And out loud, in this place, as you practice, simply repeat that affirmation that's important to you. Repeat that out loud. Repeat it again. And give yourself a positive affirmation of your own creation that's important to you right now. And now with the next breath, just be aware of that breath and be aware of where that breath travels deep into the lungs, where that inhale turns into an exhale, and open the eyes, feeling fantastic and ready for the rest of the day. Opening the eyes, feeling fantastic. and ready for the rest of the day. Now, Debbie, right as we went into the session, one of the things you typed was you had a little bit of trouble getting the cool forehead. So what I did was I focused it on one very specific spot. And then allowed you, or gave you the suggestion to extend that coolness. Sometimes if somebody's having difficulty with one particular sensation or awareness, we can really focus it, or even have a client touch that place on their forehead, sensing an awareness of coolness, and then to begin to extend it. So those are some ways of enhancing the experience. I think it's also important to note that while we might give our clients many different experiences to create, not all clients will create all experiences all the time or equally as well. That's why we give our clients a number of different experiences. By the way, if your eyes aren't open, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, it's time to open the eyes. Any questions on that process? Any comments on that process? Please type them in the chat box below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions or hear some feedback, or at least read some feedback that you might have about that process that we just went through. My hope is that you found it beneficial. And like our clients, have an ability to really internalize these things so that we can use these skills at any time in any place that would be beneficial to us, even if it's not an overt suggestion we're giving to folks. So, of course, each and every week we've been getting together. Each and every week I've been posting a couple of videos. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. We have a couple of weeks before the real Thanksgiving rush. I will be posting 2 videos this week. I'll be posting, again, 2 more videos next week. They're all going to be topical in focus so that when you're done with this course, you'll be able to take, like with the sexual performance script, these ideas to clients with unique difficulties. And the next one focuses on headaches. So I don't see any questions in the chat box, but if you have any questions, you can always post them in our forum. You can always feel free to email or call me at any time. I'm more than happy to answer those questions for you. So again, thank you for participating today, and I'll look forward to the same time, same channel, same place next week. Tomorrow, you can look for your practice video. It'll be posted right here on the same page as all the rest of the videos.